Hello, time travelers. Welcome to the Aging Journey podcast, an actual play podcast where we go back in time and play RP games themed around time and growing up in a variety of systems. I am your game master, Tanya, and this is The Red Bridge, a children's fantasy adventure using the Kids on Bikes system inspired by works such as The Phantom Tollbooth, Alice in Wonderland, Jumanji, and The Wizard of Oz. We are playing Kids on Bikes, a tabletop role-playing game that allows players to explore a mysterious and supernatural world set in a small town during the 1980s and 90s. Our players embody characteristics called tropes and roll dice based on their brains, brawn, fight, flight, charm, and grit. The higher the stat, the better their skill. Each player has a top stat where they roll a d20 and a bottom stat where they roll a d4. In this game, dice explode, where if you roll the maximum on a die, you get to roll again, infinitum. Our players for this campaign were made from scratch, and tropes are custom. There may be mature content depicted in our gameplay, but the players and I are using safety tools, and all content warnings will be in the description below. You can listen to the audio of the podcast on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, or the Aging Journey website, or watch it on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, join our Discord, or support us on Patreon. All links will be in the description. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Well, I think that wraps up the spiel. Enjoy the journey.
Alright then. Hi, I'm Trick. I'm going to be playing Caleb Mattentalk.
I'm NotQuietNormal. I'll be playing Jimmy Breach.
Hi, I'm M. I'm playing Juke Baldwin.
Hi, I'm Bix. I'm playing Willow.
Hello, time travelers. Welcome back to the Aging Journey podcast inaugural campaign, The Red Bridge. Content warnings will be in the description below. And I am TanyaLashea, your GM. So, quick session recap. We began our Kids on Bikes adventure in a little town called Shady Creek. It's 2 hours south of St. Louis, Missouri, and it's sat between a city and an open prairie. Shady Creek features the pride and joy of the town since its inception, which is the infamous Crab Apple Harvest Festival. So a lot has happened in the few short weeks between Caleb's birthday, which was May 7th, 1996, and the town's Harvest Festival, which began on June 15th. Last we met, Shady Creek's famous Crabapple Harvest Festival's first day kind of went off with a bang. The entire town came out to partake in the festivities, including our athletic Sly Fox, Willow, our wild child scoundrel, Jimmy Breach, the charismatic secret supplier, Caleb Mattentalk, and the courageous domino, Juke Baldwin. The festival began as a fun summer day with friends, and then quickly kind of descended into a fight for your lives, as every townsperson essentially turned rabid after they ingested a new variety of crab apple that premiered at the festival. You all survived the day with the help of Vidalia Shady, who is a descendant of the town's founder, and Mr. Willock, who is the owner of a shop in the mall. You're all able to walk out of this encounter with your lives, but after the madness died down, you all kind of found yourself in the basement of the library, and you were told to simply go home and forget everything. You all made your way back through the night streets of Shady Creek, through your neighborhood in the hills, and everything seemed to go back to normal, as if nothing had ever happened. And you all know that nothing will ever be the same again. So this is where we're going to actually begin our adventure. We're going to start right where we left off with Caleb standing on the side of the road, holding an obsidian puzzle box, which after some fiddling has finally opened. And just as it has opened, across the street, there appears a black rabbit. So Caleb, what are you doing as you stand there holding this box that is now a flat disc of obsidian and shining in your hand? And also across the street from you is a fluffy black rabbit that is not like sitting on all fours. It is standing upright, as if it has like regular joints, like a human, and
Person, that's
huge,
very intimidating.
big, yeah, huge, big black eyes, and it stares at you.
I think Caleb kind of just freezes for a moment, trying to check to see if he's just imagining it, and I guess he'll take a step forward towards it, see if he can interact.
As you step towards it, it steps towards you. It kind of walks like a normal person, except for it's a little tiny rabbit. So would be cute if it wasn't like 12 midnight, and you were the only person on the street. And
Oh,
this
it's
was
12 midnight.
oh yeah, it's late because it's after
The
it's
mood
after
just
the
changed
festival.
severely.
Yeah, yeah. It would be cute if it wasn't insanely creepy at the same time.
Okay, actually, since it stepped forward, Caleb is gonna step back because he feels a little less confident in that thing.
It continues to walk towards you because it is across the street, and it comes from the other side of the sidewalk on the other side of the street into the middle of the road to where you're standing, which you're underneath a light. And now you can kind of see that it looks a little less menacing, you guess. It does look just like a regular black rabbit, but it's walking and standing and looking up at you. So it's very creepy cute. But now that it's closer to you, you can see that it has like beautiful, vibrant blue eyes and a cute little nose that twitches. Go ahead and roll your grit. DC is going to be a 15.
Oh my! I don't think I can even beat that. Let's take a chance. Grit is a D10. Rolling. That's a 7.
Okay. I mean, not bad. Seeing as how this is very, very strange. But given that today has been a very strange day, you're not really sure what to make of this rabbit. It just is kind of standing in front of you. And as you kind of look down at it and stare at it, your vision goes black. Moving on, we we follow.
So should I make a new character? What's going on?
We'll see. Moving on from you, we follow Willow. Willow, you've just gotten home. You've actually returned to an empty house. The note from your dad, that it's still on the kitchen counter, that said that he was going to meet you at the festival, even though he never did. When you arrive, the lights are off, and you remember that even though your dad was supposed to meet you at the festival, and meet up with Aunt Hildy and you do now remember that you think he never showed. So you're not really sure where your dad is at the moment. Hershey is laying underneath the like breakfast bar where the chairs are, and so he's getting up slowly and stretching, and he's about to come over to you because he's had a long day of sleeping.
As he does, as he does. She isn't even going to turn on the light. She's just going to like walk over to him a little bit, then just kneel down onto the ground and just let him come over to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as he usually does, he kind of nuzzles your hand as you pet him. He kind of sits there, and he hasn't had dinner yet. He hasn't had any food other than when you left because no one's come back to the house, and so he's kind of just waiting for you to feed him.
She she pets his head, gives him like a little bit of a noogie, and she walks over to like by the counter, goes to like one of the cabinets and takes out a bag of dog food to refill his bowl and grab a cup to refill his water as well.
Mm-hmm. As you go into the kitchen and grab the dog food and some water, you see that the phone, the rotary phone that is on the kitchen counter, has a red light blinking that says that there's a message.
She's gonna press play.
You press play and you hear your dad's voice. He's leaving you a message. He's like, "Hey, hun, sorry, I got tied up at work. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it in time to join you today, but don't worry, I've taken tomorrow off, so you and me and Hildy can spend the whole day at the festival together. Won't be back until tomorrow morning. Have Aunt Hildy call me when you guys get home. Love you." And he clicks up the phone.
So she kind of like finishes pouring the food and water in his bowl as she listens to the message, and she kind of just sits down beside him as she listens to the message, and she just hears just even the name, and it's just the memory, the image of her Aunt Hildy kind of just is there, and she just looks over at Hershey and wraps her arms around him and just hugs him. Well, she's like sort of starts crying, but she isn't sure.
Hershey just sits there. He's kind of eating, but also letting you kind of hug him as he kind of sits there and eats his dinner. On the table, you do see that there's the note from your dad, but you also notice from the corner of your eye that there's a different colored sticky note and a piece of paper that's like stuck to the fridge. Now that wasn't there when you left earlier today, but you do know that you met Aunt Hildy at the festival, so maybe she stopped by the house.
She like pets Hershey, wipes her face a little bit as she stands up, and she goes over to the note. She picks up the one that her dad left and just holds in her hand while she goes over to the other one to read it.
On the refrigerator, there is a large map of Shady Mall, and there's something that's circled. It's a shop that's kind of circled like double with red, and there's a sticky note that's on top of the map that simply reads, "I'm still here, Willow," and it's in your Aunt Hildy's handwriting. Go ahead and roll grit. DC's gonna be a 15.
All right, got an 8.
Okay, not bad. You do remember as you kind of like look at this, it's almost like your memory begins to rewrite itself as you kind of think back. You vividly remember your Aunt Hildy being hit by something, and you remember her falling, but you don't, all of a sudden you don't really remember her like dying. And so now you're a bit confused. So you need more answers. You're not really sure what's going on with your brain right now. However, you do think that if this is her handwriting, which you're pretty sure it is, and she has left you this map of the mall, which has this place circled, perhaps that's telling you where you need to go. What do you want to do next?
She's gonna like grab the map, and she heads to her room and starts just, she grabs her bag, starts packing like a few things for Hershey, and grabs his leash, and she plans on, once he's done eating, of course, to take him for a walk and maybe visit the place.
Okay, you go back to your room and you pack some things. Do you pack the box?
She does. She just sticks at the very bottom.
Okay. You pack all your things and leave your empty home in the middle of the night to take Hershey for a walk and maybe figure out what's going on. So we will leave you there and see what Jimmy is doing as he arrives home. Again, the lights are off in the house, but there is a light on that's in your room.
Okay.
Did you leave your light on?
Probably not.
Okay. Just before, as you kind of like walk in, whether you decide if you did leave the light on or not, because maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Um, as you're walking down the hallway, the front door opens, and your family, your dad and Michael, walk into the living room.
Oh, hi, Dad.
What is your relationship with your brother like?
It's a passing relationship. We don't talk a lot. We still love each other, but there's not a lot of words passed.
Okay. You can kind of see them both walk into the door where you are from the hallway, and you see that your dad is carrying something. And so he kind of hears you, and he kind of just says, "Oh, hey, bud," but he keeps walking, and he's still talking, but Michael has already moved down the hallway as well. He essentially kind of like sees you there, but essentially dismisses you and just walks past you. He's just going to his bedroom. And while you're standing there in the living room or in the hallway, Michael goes to his room, and then you can hear your dad in the kitchen, like setting stuff down. And he's also talking still, but you don't know to who.
I think I'll go in the kitchen and see what he's up to. See if he's going to be there for a while.
Yeah. You see your father, he has his arms full of crab apples, and he sets them onto the table. When I say arms full, I mean he has like a 5-pound bag of crab apples. He's kind of starting to store them in like the pantry. And he kind of looks over at you. Hey Jimmy, I wouldn't really see
Hey.
you all day.
Hey, where'd you get the apples?
Oh yeah, no, they were giving them for free over at the Crab Apple Festival. They do that every year, son.
I mean, I'm not going to eat them, and I don't know. I didn't think Michael liked them.
Your father kind of looks at you, like kind of almost cocks his head, and then he kind of laughs a little bit, like, "What? What? Jimmy, you love crab apples. What are you talking about?"
No, I don't.
Okay. It's been a long day. Do you have fun with your friends?
I guess so.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna put these away. Maybe see if Miss Yoon has some cool recipes that we can make different stuff with tomorrow. But it's a late night, so you want to get some sleep. And he turns around and begins to put the crab apples back.
Okay. I want to make a pit stop on the way to my room. And I want to
Sure.
make sure that my dad doesn't see it while I'm doing it.
Okay. Where are you going?
I'm going into his room.
Okay. Yeah. I think as soon as you turn around and you start walking down the hallway, you begin to hear him talking to someone, but you can't quite hear what he's saying. But it doesn't sound like bad or anything. It just sounds like he's having a conversation with someone as he kind of puts the crab apples away.
Okay. Well, he can have his conversation.
So you go to his room.
Mm-hmm.
The door is unlocked and the light is off.
Okay.
But you have access.
I'll go in. I'll leave the light off, and I'm going to try and go to his desk drawer where I know he keeps the photo of Mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You go there and you find it.
I'll just grab it and then go to my room.
Okay. The door closes, and you can see that underneath in the hallway, you can see that underneath Michael's room, you can see that his light is off, but his TV is on because he has his own TV. You guys have a TV in the living room, but he bought his own TV, and he is watching something. You can kind of hear it. Maybe it sounds like a horror movie or something like that. Maybe something on late night television. But he's pretty quiet. He's just, that's all you see there. Are you going to head to your room?
Yeah, I'll let him be.
Okay. You go into your room, and there sitting on your bed is your gray cat, who's sitting on one of your pillows.
Mm-hmm. Hi, bud.
But on the other pillow is a small red box with a blue ribbon on it.
I'll sit next to the cat, set the photo down on like my nightstand.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess I'll pet him a little bit and then look at the box and start to open it.
Mhm.
You
Make
get
a
me
brain-
something, buddy?
Make a brains roll to see if you can catch the memory here of
Okay.
what this box looks like. We'll do the DC 5.
All right.
Hmm.
5. Let's go.
Yeah, you kind of understand where this box reminds you of. It reminds you of the red box with a blue ribbon that held the game from many, many years ago that you guys played. Now, this box is very small, though. It's not the same size. That box was huge. This box is kind of as small as like a bracelet box, but still beautifully wrapped. And there is a note attached to the box. It simply reads, "You'll know what to do." There's no signature, but the handwriting seems familiar. So go ahead and roll a grit. DC 15.
It's okay, guys. I got this. 10. Ooh, 10 plus the 1, so that explodes, right?
Is your a D10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
does
D10.
explode. Yeah. Roll again.
So that's a total of 17.
Wow. You are staring at this handwritten letter. It's written with. Actually, you tell me. Did your mother used to write with pens or pencil?
I think she likes pencils.
This is a handwritten letter. The swirls and the dots are exact. You would know it anywhere. This is 100% your mother's handwriting.
Jimmy just stares at it for a good couple minutes, and you could see like the tears starting to well in the corner of his eyes. And then he just starts to open it very slowly and intentionally.
As you open this box and see what's inside, you come to a realization that you now understand. You understand what Willow has been keeping from you. And we will leave you there and move to Juke. You've also made it home with Helen. She is fast asleep on your back. The house is also empty and the lights are off, but you are home safely.
Yeah, I'll probably carry her upstairs and get her into bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is passed out, both from like the sugar high and also the all day excitement. But she seems happy at least, as you kind of set her down in bed and tuck her in, and she is already fast asleep in bed. As you turn around and kind of look around her room as you leave, you notice that her rabbit cage is empty.
Oh. Does that is that something that happens a lot?
You tell me.
I think I'm the one that probably like at least half the time ends up taking care of this rabbit, so I wouldn't let that happen. But I know Helen takes him out and lets him like hop around the room, probably more often than she should. So I don't know. I might chalk that up to he's just like in the room somewhere or in the house somewhere.
Yeah, you guys have been gone all day. You know, rabbits are little escape artists sometimes. Perhaps he just got tired of being in there since you guys have been at the festival. So
I'll probably put out some food.
Okay, that's good. So you put out a little bit of food to see if he comes back. But I mean, I'm gonna say that the door to her room has been closed all day. Like you had to open it, so
Okay.
you feel like he might be just in the room.
Yeah, I'd probably just put the food out and then close the door again. And if it wasn't midnight, I might be more concerned. But I probably also noticed that I have this like crazy gun like stuck in my pocket or somewhere that like I need to deal with.
Yeah. Okay. So you close that door, and you just go straight to your room, or do you go anywhere
Yeah.
else?
Yep, I head to my room.
Okay. You're back in your room. It is getting darker outside, but you have a lamp outside of your home's door, or your sidewalk at your house.
Mhm.
So there's a little bit of light coming into your room. That's kind of showing some of the shadows in some of your corners, and it shines a little bit on your bed. And on your bed, on one of your pillows, is also a red box with a blue ribbon.
Mhm.
Now, you would know immediately what this is. You have been having very vivid
Oh.
dreams
Uh-huh.
recently. So there's no guessing what this bad boy is. It's also not as big as that box that you remember, but it is bigger than like a small box. It's probably, let's say, medium size.
Yeah, probably also like super weird because like I don't remember that box in reality, just as part of a dream. So like what that's yeah.
Yeah, it's disconcerting to say the least. Even more so is that as you kind of like look at the box that's sitting there, you can also see that there's a tag attached. It looks like, like a birthday tag that would be attached. It would show you the person's name. You'd write like a little note.
Uh-huh.
What do you want to do?
I'm like super torn because this gun makes me really anxious because like I am a kid who should not have a gun and I'm worried that my parents are going to come home. So I'm going to first go to my closet and like shove the gun into I think I have a box of stuff that belonged to my mom before she left, just like little trinkets and things. I think it's like a cardboard box that says like mom on it, and I just stick the gun in there and then go look at the box on the bed.
Okay. So what are you doing as you look at the box?
I'll read the tag first.
Okay, you're just reading the tag. So the tag attached just reads, "We need to talk. Bring the board. Meet me at our usual spot." And it's signed Caleb.
Oh. See, that was where my mind went, was like I remembered like starting to talk about a dream with Caleb, and then like, is this like a joke that he's doing because of that? So yeah. But I'll open the box also. But I'm feeling much calmer about it now.
Inside of the box is a folded up board. You can only see the outside right now, so it's like white and a little bit of cardboard, but it's folded up in like 4 pieces. So it looks like if you took it out and unfolded it, it would fold out into a large board. And there's also a box that has a name on it. And the name says The Red Bridge. And there's also a little cardboard list of instructions.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with that.
Strange.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make a roll of grit. DC
Okay.
is going to be 15.
Sure. That's a D20 for me. And it's a 12.
Okay. Not bad. Remember everyone to add adversity tokens when you fail things. But not bad. But so what happens is you are a bit confused, but you're also not confused. There's something about this that tells you perhaps this is finally you guys having this conversation. And
Yeah.
maybe it's being, brought on because maybe Caleb found this and maybe he's going to maybe he wants to talk to you about all of this. You're like, okay, well, it's kind of weird. But at the same time, this is strange timing. So you also can't shake how strange this is, because number one, why is this on your bed?
Yeah, I saw him like 10 minutes ago.
You literally just saw him, so it's a little kind of like, okay, I mean, little extra, Caleb, but but okay. So yeah, so you
Yeah,
at this moment,
Caleb.
so at this moment, you're kind of like, okay, this is really strange. So you have a couple of questions. You're kind of questioning like, why would you even do this? But also, well, maybe this is the conversation that both of you have kind of been avoiding, and so that's you're not terribly uninterested in that. So
Right.
Tanya, what extra planar entity is trying to help with my therapy with Juke? What's going on here?
So just as you were kind of looking at the tag and reading and looking at the board and stuff, and just kind of having this conversation with yourself of like, well, this is weird. You kind of hear the front door open, and you hear Linda and your dad kind of talking as they come in. You kind of hear them like go to the kitchen downstairs, or they're like walking around. They don't bother checking in on you, but they do come up, and you can hear one of them go into their bedroom. You can hear probably Linda goes to Helen's bedroom, just opens the door for a second and then closes it. So she's probably checking on Helen. And then she goes into their room.
She probably didn't notice that Helen is like covered in crabapple slushy. I think
she'll definitely see that she's had a good time the next day, but she was mainly just checking that she's there in bed, and so she saw her there and she was like, all right, well.
Yeah, so my take on the like Caleb thing is I'm not really like interested, but it's not something where I'm going to leave the house in the middle of the night, so my plan is to just kind of crash.
Right. So as you kind of read that and hear your parents come in and all of that happens, what are you doing with the box?
I'll just set it on my desk at one side of the room.
Cool. You set the box down and we are done catching up with everybody. So we are now at kind of a crossroads where all of you have essentially kind of like finished wherever you were, and kind of finished that scene of where we ended last session, which was at this point like a month and a half ago. So now we are going to move forward in time for the rest of the summer. So how do we want to do this? I can just go one by one, or I can have you all just kind of let me know like what you want to see happen, and we can do rolls.
Can we start with just like really quickly Juke and Caleb doing their performance at the open mic the next day?
Yeah, there were that I wanted to do, as well as a few other things that I thought would be addressed. Like, firstly, Caleb is, from what I can tell, unconscious in the middle of the street in the middle of the night. So what's happening there?
Well, your vision went black, but if you guys want to move on to the next day and literally just talk about what happens the next day moving on, then that's what would happen. You would wake up in your bed the next morning.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
The rabbit took me home?
It said you needed some sleep. It's midnight. Go home.
The rabbit cares for my well-being, and I find that extremely suspicious.
The rabbit probably wrote the note too.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I'm not disbelieving that, actually.
Caleb needs to get some sleep and mend his relationships.
The rabbit
He
is
needs to talk about his feelings instead of doing crime.
Caleb is getting severely angrier at this rabbit. How dare you fix me?
I think that's a good idea. Let's start with what happens the next day for each of you, like personally, and like what you want to do. And then we will move forward. So let's get through the festival, essentially. So the next day is the second day of the festival. And so it opens its gates bright and early. I think I said last time 8 a.m. So let's stick with 8 a.m. You're all of your families, except for you, Willow, you all went early in the morning. the day before, and you spent pretty much all day, and that's pretty normal for the first day. But for the second day, maybe people just go like half day, or they only go for like certain events. So Juke and Caleb, you guys want to go back specifically for the open mic?
Oh, Caleb
Uh,
there was a thing that I wanted to do last session, which I know which was a very long time ago. Caleb wanted to visit someone in order to get some answers regarding, who these, I think you called them apple nuns, if I remember correctly, were.
Yeah, so you would have to do that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we do it after the festival? Because I really don't want to
No,
ditch out on you.
not after the festival, but we're currently in the festival still. It's the second day of the festival. But you
Okay,
wouldn't be able to do that at midnight the day of the first day.
definitely not. The rabbit
Yeah.
tells me the rabbit tells me so.
So this is the second day. So Caleb and Juke, you guys specifically want to go to the festival for the open mic.
Yeah.
Jimmy, is there a reason why you would want to go back to the festival?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Is there anywhere else you would want to go while the festival was happening? So like in the window of the festival, which is, I believe it's 4 days.
What was in the little box? Do I get to know?
Tell me what you want to do.
Okay.
You're interrupting her DM plans.
Exactly.
Exactly. I think I would go find Willow and see what she's up to.
Okay. And then Willow, Willow, I'm going to tell you that your dad does come back in the morning. And he kind of passes out because he's been out working all night. But he did promise to take you to the festival sometime today, but he's sleeping during the day right now. But is there
What happened last night? Like, was she able to go to the place?
So you left last night, and so we'll have to see what you did. But is there any place other than where you were going that you wanted to go to?
She possibly would have gone back to the park as well, where she saw the rabbit.
Okay. So then let's start at the top. Caleb, before you go to open mic night, what are you doing during the day? So we'll say open mic night is at night. So second day at night. So then you have all day to do stuff. What are you doing?
Aside from his usual deal schedule and whatnot, he wanted to, I know I said in the last session, Caleb wanted to go to the library to do a little research, but over the time I had a better idea. Caleb has a relative that has lived in Shady Creek for much longer than him and even longer than his dad. So if anyone would have known about like the startup of Shady Creek, or at least of something that happened on in Shady Creek, it would be Caleb's grandfather, Horace Mattentalk, who lives in the elderly home. Oh, and he gets to visit his grandfather's dog, Broth.
Okay. So you go to Clementine Retirement. Let's say this is an open but organized retirement community. So you don't need an appointment or anything, but they do require you to sign in and sign out and things like that. What time of the day would you usually go and visit him?
It would be, it would be right around noon, and he would bring either snacks or lunch for Horace.
That's great. Okay. You arrive at Clementine Retirement, and there is a young woman who's kind of wearing like scrubs, and she has her hair in a low bun, and she has glasses, and she just sort of has a clipboard. She kind of looks at you. Good afternoon. Are you here to see someone?
Yeah, Mr. Mattentalk. I've been here before.
Sure, no problem. She gives you the clipboard and asks you to sign in, and then she asks you, like, do you know where you're going? Let me actually check where he's at. He might be in his room, he might be in the TV room. So she quickly checks, and he is out in the garden.
Oh,
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, Caleb will take a good old right and a left. He probably knows where
Yeah,
the garden
it's
is, so
this is a
takes him
fairly
no
small
time at all.
retirement community, so it's a big building where the apartments are or the housing unit is, but then there's a bit of a courtyard on the other side, like in the back, that is essentially like a garden. It's like a walking path. It's basically outdoor space. And so that is where Horace is. And when you get to, the back area where the walking garden is, he is indeed there. There are people kind of like in the garden. It's a garden of flowers, so they're just kind of like walking around and enjoying the smells of the garden. But he is sitting on a bench looking out, just kind of like people watching. And he's sitting there kind of silently, just looking out into the garden.
Caleb walks up and he has a nice little genuine smile. He leans over with a wave and says, "Hey, Pampa, how's it going?"
He looks over at you. He goes, "Go, Caleb!" And he looks at your what's in your hand, and he goes,
It's probably a basket of muffins
"Okay." He
from
goes,
the bakery.
"Muffins, love it." He sets his hand down on the bench next to him for you to sit.
Yeah. Caleb walks over and just kind of takes a seat, probably patting Broth's head, like seeing how he is.
What does Broth look like?
Broth is a basset hound, and I'm gonna bring up an image I believe I have of him. Where is he? Uh, it is. I couldn't find an image of him, but I found a really good one that I want to send. Here, it is going to be in in-game
Am I
chat.
hearing broth, like soup broth? Okay.
Mhm,
Oh yeah, his
Got
name
it.
is
He's
Broth like soup broth.
adorable.
He's kind of
mhm,
he's a very
mhm.
flabby dog. He's like layers of coats over a dog, and he has always this expression of like, "Who are you? Wait, I know you. Wait, who are you? Wait, I know you." And he's always in a surprise state.
I'm assuming that he's quite old, being the pet of
Yeah.
Horace. But at the same time, he's probably actually quite younger than Horace. So he's old for dog years.
Oh, he. I don't remember when he was adopted, but yeah, he's just about as wrinkly as
Okay.
Horace.
Yeah, he is sitting there. He's a little bit more calm and lethargic than he usually is. And so he lets you pet him, but he kind of sets up a little bit to look over at you. And his eyes and jowls are a little bit more droopy than you remember. But he kind of wags his tail a little bit in a moment of recognition.
Caleb just kind of like squishes his face a little. You're getting kind of floppy, Broth. You know that?
Horace takes the muffins and begins to kind of unwrap them. Does he have a name for you, or does he just call you Caleb?
Uh, he definitely calls him Caleb, but he'd say like Kiddo or Bud, or like he'd give always a nickname
Okay.
of some kind.
So what can I do for you, Scab?
Love it. Well, I just kind of came to show up, talk a bit. Something's been up lately, but you know, I'm sure it can't be as bad as this place.
Oh, it's not so bad. I mean, once in a while I get muffins. He kind of gestures at the muffins, and then he kind of gestures over at
Yeah.
the two elderly ladies planting, and the view's not bad around here either.
Ugh, Grandpa. Not that image in my head. I'm gonna ignore that one, just for the sake of my sanity. Um, yeah, I actually did want to talk about something, if that's all right. Something, well, maybe two things. You know that feeling of when you kind of make a mistake, but you can't really take it back or want to take it back?
Not personally. Never made a mistake in my life.
Mm-hmm. My dad would have a few disagreements, but yeah, let's go on from that. I feel like I did a mistake.
Oh,
You know,
does it involve another person?
few of them actually.
Oh,
Yeah, a group I hang out with. They're good people. They're great. I love talking to them, but I don't know. I think I'm just pulling them into my things. I kind of tend to prepare and do stuff,
mm-hmm.
but I don't know if they want to do it as well. So, like, do I give up on them? Do I? He kind of like tilts his head a bit. And he doesn't really want to continue.
Caleb, what is your question?
My good friend.
Hmm. He sort of puts the muffin in his mouth. I mean, if you gotta ask, I feel like that's giving the answer, my guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, I don't know if there's a such thing as being a good friend always. I think as long as you're trying to be a friend to somebody, sometimes you'll be a good one, sometimes you'll be a not so good one. Hopefully you're the former more than the latter.
You and me both. Yeah, yeah. Probably for the best. um. Oh, yeah. There was one more thing. Caleb's kind of like pulling the conversation away from that. Maybe he stepped a line on that one. Um. You ever heard of the Apple Nuns?
The what?
Yeah, I didn't think so either. I know it's the name.
Listen, I don't know what you get into these days, but I don't know what the kids are into, but I don't unless you're referring to the Madonna nuns.
Madonna Nuns?
Well, yeah.
Like for the high school?
Yeah. They used to run the orchard back in the day when I was younger.
Younger. Huh. Yeah, I just heard the name and I don't know.
Yeah.
Sounded old and you sounded old, so it kind of just worked out.
Well, I don't know if that's how that works, but I do remember the Madonna nuns. They, nice ladies. I believe Sister Grenda was just here. She spoke at the festival. Yeah, it was they went around, giving people bread and making sweets
And
and
apples?
apple. I mean, well, they ran the orchard, but I mean, yeah, of course they would give out the crab apples, but that's kind of normal. They give that stuff away for free like nobody's business. I'm surprised we even pay for crab apples in this town.
Yeah. Uh, I guess one more thing. Have they ever, uh, safety and whatnot, they ever given out bad apples?
Giving out bad apples.
Yeah. You know, green ones, not tasty ones, weird ones.
Not that I know about. I mean, it was. I know that. So the reason why we're known for our crab apples here is because they grow everywhere. But apparently, the Madonna nuns, when they created, that's the rumor anyway, they created the orchard. They were able to figure out a way to like grow them in that pasture where the orchard is located, and they taste better. They taste tartar, they taste sweeter. They were able to build, do some different varieties, while all the other ones that grow throughout Shady Creek are bitter. essentially. And they kind of touted up being some sort of natural process of like, splicing, and they touted it as being really good gardeners. So that's the rumor. But I don't think I've gotten anything bad from them.
Good. Yeah, good. Huh.
If you want to know more about the orchard, you should probably ask the Owens family.
Who's the Owens family?
Well, they're the ones that run the orchard now.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got a person who knows that orchard well. I'm sure they'll tell me about it.
All right. Yeah, next time you come, kiddo, bring some crab apples. They don't let us eat them here.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You didn't go to the festival yesterday, did you?
Well, I didn't go per se, but me and a couple of the ladies from the Pinochle Club here, took a bottle of Shiraz up to the balcony, and kind of watched the Ferris wheel go round, and kind of saw all of the lights of the festival, and we could even hear the speech from way over here. So I didn't go, but
Wait, you saw what happened at the orchard? Or a festival?
yeah, it was a big gathering. Listening to the speech, Sister Glenda was there, and she's 83, so but she looks good.
Oh god, not again. Yeah, okay. Caleb kind of like stands up and kind of shifts a little bit. Yeah. Uh, right. I'll make sure to bring a few crab apples.
All right, don't be a stranger, Caleb.
You too. Okay. Bye, Pampa.
See you around, Scab.
And Caleb's gonna like turn around. He's a little uncertain. All right. I think next stop is the festival itself for him and Juke.
Okay. We will come back for you and Juke in the festival. Jimmy, what are you doing on this day?
So you said that upon opening the box, I knew that Willow had been holding something back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go over to Willow's house to try and find her.
Okay. You show up at Willow's house, and we will actually see what Willow was up to the night before to see what you find there. So Willow, you took Hershey out, and perhaps we're going to swing by the mall. Now, the mall is a little far away from you. It would take you probably like a 20-minute walk. Do you walk there that night?
Yeah, she would. I mean, gives time for Hershey to go.
Okay. On your way there, you come across so you have to cross the park to go up to the mall. But before you make it to the mall, as you're going through the park and Hershey is kind of like, going to the bathroom and doing his business, this is very rare for him, but he actually bolts and runs, and the leash slips out of his hand as he is running for something.
She kind of like yells, like, "Wait, Hershey, come back!" and just chases after him.
You chase after him, and he eventually stops, and he is barking at a black bunny that is standing next to a tree in the park. This is the same black bunny you saw before, except for it is standing up instead of sitting like it was when you were able to pet it, and it is staring at you and Hershey.
She stares at it. It was like thinks back to that quote unquote dream, because that's what she just interpreted it as. And she like is like trying to calm down Hershey, like hold him, like grabs his leash again, and she looks at him just like, midnight? Is that you?
The bunny begins to walk towards you, and Hershey actually backs up as this bunny starts to walk towards you. Even though you're holding him, he was at first barking, and now he's whimpering, backing up.
She's like petting him, trying to soothe him. She's like, it's all right.
The little bunny walks up to you two, and Hershey is really uncomfortable with having this creature so close to you guys. But it's standing at your feet, and it's staring up at you. Go ahead and roll your grit, DC 15.
All right. Oh, I got 12. Oh, that's good. And got a 15.
Nice. This little bunny kind of looks up at you, and you're not quite sure exactly what's happening, but you can actually see with your own eyes a tendril, almost like a tendril of bright neon pink light, and it is coming from this little bunny, coming from like its chest. It's sort of wiggling up towards you, and it connects to your chest, and you feel kind of like a warm glow in your chest. And then it disappears. And the bunny disappears.
Huh. She's kind of like look down at her chest where it hit, then like over at like Hershey, see how he's doing. Kind of just confused.
He's doing fine. He also looks confused. And if you look down, if you look down at where it went in your chest, there's just like a light pink glow, and then it subsides to look like nothing.
She kind of just like sits there for a moment, like just thinking, looks around and checks for the rabbit. And then she stands back up, makes sure she's holding the leash good this time, and continues on her walk.
You make it to the mall. It's completely shut down because it's the middle of the night. Do you have any way to get into the mall?
Is there a tree she could climb?
Actually, there aren't any trees. There are like manicured trees, but they're like not next to the buildings.
It's closed off by like a gate, isn't it?
Well, there's no gate.
Oh, there's no
it's
gate.
Just closed. So yeah, the mall is just locked up.
She wants answers, but there's also Hershey. She's just gonna tie the leash to one of the trees, like where he can like obviously be able to, and like leave some treats for him. And she's going to rummage through her bag in search of one of her bobby pins.
Oh. Okay. The picture, if you follow the map, it takes you to one of the shops that is inside of the mall called the Nonconformity. You know about it because you guys went there to see Grouper, and you know that Caleb goes there a lot, but you've never been there at night. So you'll have to get into the main mall, and then you'll have to get into that shop.
Isn't the mall like outside though?
Yeah, it's an outdoor mall.
Yeah, like can't she just walk to it?
The building where it's in, yes. So you'd have to get into that main building that it's in, and then go into the shop.
All right.
So the mall is like, I think it's like 5 different buildings.
She's first going to like probably check around the building, see if there's like any other way to get in.
Okay. You check around. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Like any windows or doors?
There are some windows. They're kind of high up. None of them are open, but there are some windows that you could check. You would just have to get up to them because they are too tall for you to like reach on your own. And then there's a side door in this building, and then the front door And then there's also like a back, like emergency exit. The back emergency exit has a key code attached to it, though.
She does not want to go to jail, so she's not going to mess with that. She's gonna test the other doors, just like see how sturdy they are, what type of locks there are, or if they're open at all.
Yeah. The side door is a metal door. It does have a lock just for a key. It doesn't have a keypad. And then the front door is a double door that is glass. That is the actual entrance to like this part of the mall's building. So you can actually see inside, and you can see like the fountain, and you can see like other like little stores inside. But you can also see, while you're at the front, a little red light that's blinking that shows you that there's either like a security system or a camera somewhere.
She's going to go to the side door then, and she's going to try and open it with her bobby pin.
Okay. I believe your bobby pin is just on your person.
Yeah, she grabbed a bunch and just stuck them in her pocket.
Let's call this fight.
Fight.
Go ahead and roll
okay.
fight.
What's my fight again? D6.
Let's make it a DC. Yeah, let's make it a DC 9, I think.
Gosh.
Sense for this.
I got 2. How many times can I try? I got lots of bobby pins. I can do this.
In true Assassin's Creed fashion, which I don't know if has. I think maybe the first one has come out at this point. But you jimmy the bobby pin, and you actually hear like a click and another click, and you feel like maybe you have it like opened. And then as you hear like a third click and you kind of can feel the door handle begin to open, it doesn't though. Like you can press down on it, but it still doesn't open. But something does click, and all of a sudden you hear an alarm go off.
Oh
no. Throughout the entire mall.
Oh gosh. Okay, she immediately bolts and like she's like, all right, Hershey, time to go.
You and Hershey bolt it and make it, I'm going to just say you make it home, no issues. Perhaps on the way home you see a police car heading towards the mall. But you know, they don't look at you.
You don't suspect a girl and her dog to be doing it.
Yeah, walking her dog to be doing Caleb level crimes.
Caleb, you're rubbing off on
Hey, just because it's true doesn't mean you need to say it.
Just a
Come
14-year-old out for a walk at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So awkward. So you make it home, and I think at this point, you know, you've had a lot of adventure all day, and then just then you probably pass out.
Yeah.
So your dad gets home, he passes out, and sometime in the morning, you hear a knock on your door.
Gosh, they're here for
and
me.
It's Jimmy.
She's like, she just like, she hears the knock and she's like, oh no, Hershey, be my alibi. She like goes to the door, like peeks it, then closes it immediately. Then as she realizes it's Jimmy, she like opens it and like grabs his arm and pulls him in. It's like, nothing happened.
Something happened.
Nope, you don't know nothing, and neither do I.
Apparently not.
Anyways, why are you here?
Because we need to talk.
We do. How much do you know? What'd you see? I didn't see you there. I did nothing.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Well, why have you been lying to me?
What?
Look, I don't know what's going on with you, but something has, and you're not telling me things, and I need to know.
All right. I tried to break into the mall yesterday. Don't tell anyone.
Wait, what?
What?
Why'd you break into the mall yesterday?
I didn't. I said nothing. You don't know nothing.
No, I don't, because you haven't been telling me anything.
So what have I been knowing about?
Well, I'll pull out whatever I got from in the box and pull it out of my backpack and then show it to Willow.
You pull out the box. You put your hand out to show Willow, and you open the box. And Willow, as you look inside, you see 6 colored bridges.
She kind of looks in there. She's like, "You have the bridges?"
Apparently I do. And I need to know what you've been hiding about these right now.
Hey, I didn't have them, all right? You had them, apparently, and I was looking for them, but I never went to your house. I didn't expect you to have them.
Yeah, I didn't expect to have them either. They were on my bed last night, and I didn't put them there, and someone else did, and I need to know what you know right now.
Someone broke into your house and put the bridges on your bed?
Didn't break into the house. I don't know, maybe Dad let them in, but they were there.
I needed to find them.
Why?
I did. All right. It's how we all got together.
Willow, this is important to me. This is really important to me, okay? I don't know how these got there, but whoever put them there, I don't know. I don't know what this is.
Well, neither do I. I don't know how they got in your house. I mean, last night there was a map, and there's stuff everywhere, and I don't know how it happens.
I take it the map is where you broke into yesterday?
Maybe
Hmm.
it was not successful. Okay, I tried to, and then it did it, and me and Harsh had to book it.
Where were you trying to break into? You said the mall?
Yeah, this place in the mall, non-conformity. She kind of takes out the map from her pocket because she had it in her pocket, then probably just passed out with it in her pocket. She takes it out, just looks at it, like, yeah, I think it's this place called non-conformity.
Well, then I guess we go there. The mall should be open now, so no need to break and enter.
Yeah, but last night and yesterday in general, and with my Aunt Hildy, getting a note from her, supposedly, I guess, not dead, possibly dead. I don't know anymore. And I want answers.
Yeah.
So, for context, real quick, the only people that actually saw what happened to Aunt Hildy are Vidalia, Caleb, and Willow.
What happened to your Aunt Hildy?
You remember? You remember yesterday at the festival?
I can't forget it.
Yeah. Whenever you were looking for whoever, I saw my Aunt Hildy, and I tried talking to her. And she attacked me and Caleb. Okay, Caleb tried to help, and I tried to help him, and then I watched her die. I think it's so fuzzy.
I'm sorry, Will. I'm sorry.
And then last night I got a note, and it was exactly like her handwriting, and my dad talking about going out today to meet up with her or something, and I don't know.
things aren't good right now. And I don't want to lose anyone else. So you want to try and figure this out?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we go to nonconformity then.
Yeah.
So, you guys, I will leave you where you are, but I will tell you that you go to nonconform, or you go to the mall, and you realize that it's still closed. A lot of places are closed while the festival is going on. It's kind of like a local holiday. So we will come back to you guys. Juke and Caleb. Let's say Jimmy and Willow, you guys meet up that morning, you guys have those conversations, and you make a plan to go to Shady Creek or Shady Mall. You go to Shady Mall, see it's still closed. It's now at this point afternoon. And Caleb and Juke, you two should be making your way to open mic, unless Juke, you'd like to do something during the day.
Nope.
Okay. So with Jimmy and Willow, you two are either at Shady Mall or making your way back from Shady Mall. You going back home or going to the festival. You can tell me which one.
Do we want to see if maybe Caleb can get us inside?
I mean, we could, but isn't he doing like something with the Juke?
Probably.
I mean, I still got my bobby pins.
I mean, we can try.
But the alarm may go off again.
I mean, I can give it a try if you don't want to.
Yeah.
There is also a cop station there.
Gosh.
You did try
I did
and
try.
failed miserably the day before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe once that guy's gone.
Probably a good idea.
And I don't have Hershey as my alibi right now.
True.
So do you guys want to go back to either one of your homes, or do you want to go to the festival or go somewhere else? Let's say you guys go to the festival to keep you all together, because we're going to have to move forward in the story for the rest of the summer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say at least you guys go to at least maybe see the show, but mainly to grab Caleb after the show. And that'll be an interesting explanation of what happened. And to see.
Hey, Caleb, great performance. You two did amazing. I broke into
We need
the
you
mall.
for crime.
We need you for a crime. You're better at crime than us.
Personally, I'm so proud of you.
So, Jimmy and Willow, you guys make it back down to the festival just in time to hear Caleb and Juke get ready for their set. Caleb and Juke, this is an open mic of musicians, right? This isn't like comedy or poetry, but it's music, or is it anything?
I think it's just music.
Okay, so it's kind of like a battle of the bands almost.
Caleb and Juke, Battle of Bands.
Yeah.
We found our mini-series.
So what are you guys doing for the crowd tonight? Like, what are you're doing a set or a musical number? But like, what are you doing?
So we're doing one song. Juke has like done pre-recorded like drums. So like the percussion's going to be pre-recorded, and he's playing guitar, and then Caleb is singing, and Juke will do some like backup. And probably like right when we both get there, I'm like, "Oh, hey, I got the game thing you left. Weird joke, but let's just talk about it later."
Anything? Yeah, man, sure.
Okay.
Nice.
I am gonna say that I'm gonna say there's like 4 other bands, and you guys are going right after one another. And there's like a bit of a different eclectic sound. There's like somebody who's doing like synthesizing. There's another person who's doing like hip hop. You kind of have everything here. And then let's say right before you guys go on, there's a bit of a fan favorite of a rock group that is from the town over in Plymouth, who has come, and they are rocking the house down. And then they end up, you guys go, and then there's going to be one person, one group after you. So, Juke, you have a strong ability in music.
Yeah.
So, what's the energy to know like what you want to roll for? Like, what's the energy you guys are putting out? Is this like head banging like rock? Is this like smooth? What's going on?
So we're doing a
on stage?
cover of like a 60s psychedelic rock song, but I'm imagining it aiming for like a 90s grunge version of that. Like kind of grungy guitar, distortion, like a little bit heavier, a little bit just like a grimier version of it. That's what and I don't know what Caleb actually like sings like, if that works, but that's what Juke
He'll
wants.
get behind it. It's really just like he'll hear the music and then he'll just sing something along with
and
it.
I mean, I was thinking about what to roll, and I was gonna say brains for Juke, since he's kind of like doing the composing of like putting all of the sounds together and making that like work properly. But I don't know.
Okay.
You think something different?
No, I think how about we do brains with your variable buff? So add 3.
Okay.
And then Caleb, are you wanting to help or are you wanting to do your own roll?
You could throw some of those adversity tokens into it.
Oh, absolutely. If you want the buff, I could give you adversity tokens for that. Wait, how many adversity tokens are we allowed to give for
You can
a
give
roll?
as many as you want.
You can do it. You can do it
planned
after,
out.
though, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're gonna do it afterwards.
Okay, yeah. We'll see what you get, and I have a lot of points to spare if you need.
Okay. I'm gonna say this is your first performance you guys have
Absolutely,
done.
yeah.
It was a busy day yesterday with the whole, zombie apocalypse and whatnot. And there was a bit of a crowd favorite right before, but it sounds like your sound would be very popular right after that set that they just did. So maybe people are like riding that high. So the DC is not going to be too high. And I think using brains makes sense. How do I want to do this? I was wondering if I wanted to do a DC or if I wanted to roll for the crowd. You know what? Yeah. Go ahead and let's just see. Let me roll. Let me see. Crowd. I don't have it. Never mind. I don't have stats for the crowd. Go ahead and roll. Let's make the DC. I think 7. I think 7 is doable.
Okay.
Yeah. DC 7.
All right. So I'm rolling my D10. I got a 6 plus 3 will give me a 9.
Okay.
Does Caleb want to throw anything onto that?
I mean, if you already succeeded, do you need adversity tokens, or should
Well,
Caleb
I
make a
mean,
separate roll?
Better's better, right?
Better is better.
True.
I'm gonna put my I'm gonna put my 3 adversity tokens into, so I'll make it a 12.
Okay, so in that case, Caleb will put in. If you're putting in 3, that puts at 12. Caleb will put in 4 to turn that into 16.
Wow.
Really trying to show off.
And so, like,
And that
Okay, I wasn't trying to be rude, but the only ability I have with my adversity tokens requires 2, so I got to keep them in measures of like 2 each.
to set the stage. Well, one thing, probably like heading out, I'd be like, "Hey, Caleb, should we like have a band name?" What? Oh, I got
yeah,
one. I'll
why not?
I'll just say it. So we'll like set up, and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm Juke, and this is Caleb, and we're the Apple Nuns."
I think you murdered Tanya with that one.
You know what? I had an argument, but I think we know. I think we know the answer now. It definitely matters. We got to put it in. Really?
You good, Tanya?
Tanya, you good?
Yeah.
And then we do our version of Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Well, let's. Wow, a 16 for a 7. That's over twice. The DC.
You know what? I could bring it up to an even 20. I'm going to be getting adversity tokens if you want.
I think a 16 is more than enough.
Alrighty then.
You guys bring the house down. You are way more popular than the fan favorite. You become the new fan favorite. People are screaming how excited they are. They love the name, so edgy. And you have won over the crowd. Your names are known throughout the festival. And the Apple Nuns are now like the newest, hottest thing. You guys are going to be having a good summer. Jimmy and Willow, are you guys enjoying the show as audience members?
Oh, Jimmy's going to hate that name.
Just like watching them. I'm just like staring straight at Juke, like Apple Nuns. Where'd you get that from, huh?
Jimmy's not happy.
Yeah. I will say that Caleb, Jimmy, Juke, and Willow, you guys close out the second day of the festival, and the rest of the festival days go off without a hitch. Perhaps some of you go back, perhaps some of you don't, but overall, the festival was a huge hit, and Caleb and Juke become household names. Willow, at some point, you're going to have to talk to Caleb and possibly Juke about your brush with danger, with trying to break into the mall. And then Jimmy, you still are trying to figure out what Willow's plan is, what these pieces mean, and what exactly is going on with this whole apple orchard situation. And we will come back and see, kind of like do a montage of the rest of the summer if anything happens there. And you guys will enter high school when we come back next session. And we will end our adventure here.
Nice.
Very nice. We derailed the session to have a whole entire battle of the bands.
Absolute crazy.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for listening. We hope you are enjoying the campaign. Don't forget that you can listen to the podcast on the Aging Journey podcast website, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Links will be in the description below. Don't forget to follow or subscribe. You can also support the podcast on Patreon or join our Discord. Enjoy the journey.